other stuff about the school committee either, in spite of the press working on it. And we just need to reach everybody and have them all understand that there is an issue.
Yep.
Will the feasibility study address the logistics of a project, whatever the project is? Thinking of the questions that certainly parents and or just taxpayers would have of the dislocation issues that may come up in it, like, you know, when the batch was being built and the kids were bused down to Stoneham for a couple of years. How a project, whatever the project is, what are the logistics of it with respect to the current student body?
When I chaired the Hood School Building Committee, our architect assisted us in identifying space that we could move students into, and it was a renovation and addition. And he did the timeline for us. For instance, he knew that when we needed to gut a wing to open up for larger kindergarten classes, that he needed to move those rooms, and identified for us in that time, it was the gym. And he put up temporary portable structures.
That was your swing space.
Yeah, and then after he got the wing built, the new addition built, which was his second priority, then we could put the kids in there, and the expanded kindergarten space became a swing space. So he worked, the architect worked that out.
But I would think the state, with any feasibility study, is going to require that now, since they're basically in control. I don't know the answer, but I would think the state's going to have to, I think, Don, every detail is going to have to be worked out. The way I've seen them work on projects, every detail is worked out well in advance before you get the go-ahead. And so I'm guessing that it will be, but we will obviously push for that, because if those questions aren't answered, that makes it even harder to sell a project without having those
Yeah.
details.
For instance, a core facility might be built and used as swing space, and then later defined as a cafeteria, a gym, or
Right.
something, and those furnishings brought in. So, and Dora Whittier worked on the same concept down in Rockland, and we were wondering earlier if that ever got passed.
I
Does
think
anyone
Rockland
know?
did get, the Rockland project got
Did they vote
passed.
for it? The town voted?
Yes,
It was in the
Rockland-
pipeline to be voted on.
The town voted for it.
Okay.
I think it was like 76 or 78 million or something like that. They approved
They
it.
got 65%.
Yeah, they got the top, they got 65%, yeah.
Then managing the disruption in the neighborhood while the construction goes on, you know, that's something we will all get phone calls while I was in that anyway. But it is exciting to be part of that change.
The joint school or the combined school program lends itself very nicely to being able to work around those issues of relocation,
Right.
where you house kids while the construction going on.
Yeah, it can be done. When we did the Hood School, we had no option, but I can tell you, I know the office, I didn't sleep, all during the day, I just kept picturing some poor kid tripping over a wire, or, it's very hard. We did run into issues with the project, with propane and heat and water pipes. But it is exciting to be part of change. What we're afraid of, teachers use as teachable moments and kids love. So, you have the staff, they'll engage the kids in what's going on around them. We'll do our best, but.
The only thing I can tell you is coming from the bachelor school and going into a new high school at that time was a big, big thing, coming out of the bachelor. Being there, I'll tell you that.
A couple years ago?
Few years.
Yeah. So our next steps are what? We got to advertise for building committee positions, right?
Yes.
Chuck needs to tell us, you basically need to tell us, go through the list and tell us who we need. We know who some of the people are, but you need to tell us exactly which positions that we don't have expertise on the committee. It's my understanding, again, that everybody who's currently on the committee can stay on under the other category that they list at the end. So
Right.
if people want to stay on, that's not an issue. We just have to list each person that's on the committee.
And we'd really like your input on how you would like to work the marketing aspect. We will advertise or make specific phone calls to people and ask if they would join to take on that role. You know, if it's a full voting member or not, is something we'd like to hear from you guys about. If it's just for that season of the project, and they don't have to stick around for the long-term construction project, it would really, you know, look for you to give us an idea of what you think would work best with your group.
And I think the other thing is, you know, to coordinate with North Reading United for Education and what their stand is on this project, because I'm assuming they're gonna support this project, and I'm sure they would be very helpful in marketing, and getting the word out
That
also.
might be another idea, to tap into an existing group that has established roots.
Right.
So, sound good?
Sounds good, sounds like a plan.
We gotta,
Sounds like we might be going in the right direction,
I hope so.
all right? The interim superintendent, if he can get the paperwork started anyways,
Yeah.
that'll be a step in the right direction. I'm still not sure how we're going to get everything started yet, so I guess we gotta wait for the superintendent
Yeah, and
to
I'll
get
talk
that.
to the people in MSBA, try and get that clarified.
Yeah,
I got several questions I wanna ask.
all right, so.
Any questions you have for us?
No, the question, all right, one question I have is, everybody on the school committee on board?
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's very hard if I have a fractured school committee,
No, we're on board.
all right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Can I just make one comment? With respect to the marketing, which I think, I agree with you, is totally key, and we need to get someone to head that up. But that actually was Chuck's consideration. I've only been with this committee about a year, and so the one thing we have done is put together a website. So we actually do have a website, you know, at least a scaffold for it, if you will. And we went around and took pictures of the issues with some of the existing high school. And so it's online, and it's www.nrssbc, and .com or .org will both get you there.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
still,
Awesome.
I went to it about a month or two ago, it was done.
Can I,
Sure it was done.
can I ask you a question? I know
It might have been an
The
interim
webs-
problem, and I haven't checked it continuously, but it is up. I checked it just a couple days ago.
did the school have a problem with their website that was down for a while?
Yeah, because we lost, the website company
Right,
went out of business.
because they tried to put the Hall of Fame on it, and then somebody said the school lost their,
We have a new
Yeah.
website.
They went out of business. We have a new one. It's-
Oh,
it's
okay.
You know,
fabulous.
you talk to Pam Bodwin. She can, anything you
All
need
right.
related to the website, because Pam coordinated
Yeah.
the new company.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
we're up and running again, though.
Right,
I meant to
yes.
ask that when you were talking about advertising and everything else.
Yeah, our free ride ended about 3 months ago when the company that was giving us the free ride went out of business, so.
Okay, that's what I heard.
I guess that's what
The thing
happens
collapsed.
sometimes.
With everything.
So Mary, can we get that website
So we can
posted
get
in
the
your
track
office?
up and running.
What was it again? I couldn't hear.
It's just North Reading, nrssbc.com or .org.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We'll get that out.
It's a starting point, so
Well, so we can
I
use that, though,
I think we'd be
for-
interested in your input on, you know, what we can, you know, more we can add to
For
it.
example, once this charge is approved, you could
Put
put the
the
charge
charge
up
up.
on the website of what the group is charged with.
there.
We'll put
Oh,
the
good,
new
we'll put the
one.
new one up,
Absolutely.
and,
It will give you educational points, you know, we can start feeding you, reiterating
Right.
from our agenda item, you know, why new science labs? Why a foreign language lab? Why are computers in the classroom important? And we'll start giving you that.
well, did the last feasibility study had those specs, right? So we have those.
We have most of the we have.
There's a lot of the information.
It's just how you package it.
Right.
Forward, all right? Just putting it all together again and getting it submitted
Yeah.
in there, all right?
And I always find if you take something and break it down into bite-sized pieces, you school people, you're more apt to bring them along. Somebody might not sit down and read 3 pages of why we need them in school, but they might read the paragraph this week on computer labs, and they might read the one next week, you know, on a different subject.
Well, I think the information needs to be informative, short, and very visual.
Yep.
Now, I'm not suggesting that we write a huge white paper, but we do need to take pieces of it and maybe put together a video on different topics. And I'm a video editor. I think this would be very cheap. Put it on YouTube, you know, have people sign up for updates about what's going on, and keep them regularly informed and engaged in the process. using a constant contact kind of account. I mean, those are the kinds of things that we can do. We could even use Facebook and, to follow our project. Use new media as a way of engaging the younger folks who obviously have a big stake in this. Maybe not I'm not saying our students, because they'll, of course, not have the benefit of the project, but, the young professionals and people who have young families in this town are very interested in this project and want to know about what's going on, because the implications of it are big for them, but the cost is something that is confusing. We need to unconfuse the public, make it very black and white, in a positive way.
Then we'll need the finance committee to put together some numbers and look how, of course you can afford this, because the alternative is more expensive.
What's the lifespan of those modules that we have? Did you ever get it?
Carl,
You got a track?
Carl knows that information.
When we spec them as 10 years. We develop our RFP based on 10-year life of all components. But I'm very confident we'll beat that with ease, because we maintain them, we work hard on them, we paint them, we've refloored one of them already. So, but they are 2x3 construction. We have to remember that. So there is only so much you can do with a moving building. All of the modulars still have the wheels underneath them, by the way. They never remove the wheels when they put them on the foundation. So that just goes to show that they don't last forever. But do we have, we're into 10 years in one case already, so we have at least 10 more years.
And how many do we have, Carl, at the high school and middle school again?
We have 6 classrooms at the high school, plus a modular cafeteria.
So, and that's that was two.
That's the equivalent to
That's
classrooms.
8 there, right?
Yes.
And what about here at the middle school?
Here you have 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we have 19 modular structures essentially at the two schools then,
Yeah.
if you broke them down that way. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah,
So that's.
At some point, you need to make those permanent. You can't.
Right, I mean, that's
Or
what's,
buy
it's gonna
a
come
new
down
set.
the line, come down the road. The town is still growing. If you look around the town, even though there's a recession going on, you see 20 more houses going up off of Marblehead Street. So there are things still happening in the town. The town is still growing. So the population is there's gonna be a turnaround. I know we dropped off a little bit, but those are older families, and eventually they're going to sell, and you're gonna have younger families
We
moving
are
in.
seeing a lot of younger families moving in with
All right.
kids.
Right,
below
and that's what's
school
gonna
age.
happen, and it runs in a cycle.
yeah, it runs. But that's another piece of the building committee that is like a subgroup, getting the finances together and just making the convincing story, not all at once, but in a piece, an informative piece, and just to get people thinking. Those modulars won't be here forever. Do you want to buy 19 more modulars, or do you want permanent construction? And here's the price tag.
And I also think the messaging of this is a group effort, so, obviously, we all have different ideas about how to communicate this, and we do need somebody to go out and sell this. But in between there is our strategy of selling it, and I think that we can all work together.
Right.
Maybe and have another workshop session that we did previously, and really hammer out some ideas about how we could market this to different groups of people, because it's all about segmentation. So, who are we going after? Who's going to come to the meeting? Who's going to be voting for this? We'll need to think all of those scenarios out.
When are you gonna put the ad in the paper? This week, next week?
Well, I don't think we'll make the deadline for Thursday,
No, 'cause we need to
because
know
I have
who-
to get it in tomorrow.
We need to know who we need to look for, right? We need to
Yeah,
know what.
I would say a week from Thursday.
I mean, you wanna get it in as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I think we can put it on you can obviously put it on the school website and put it on cable television also, on the cable notices.
If there isn't interest in the town from new members, will that hold us up? Or do we just have to advertise and try to get, and that's another, when you're asking the question, if we have to have every one of those roles.
Well, that's right, that's my
Because-
question. Do we have to have all these roles filled? And can we do anything until we have them
Right,
filled?
because
Yeah.
Is,
We'll get
we
Debbie
don't
and-
often get I remember the last couple times we advertised, we didn't get a big,
no.
people weren't knocking down the doors to join the committee.
Well, it's the same thing, we're looking for people for the superintendent search committee. And
You'd be
They
surprised.
haven't been waiting outside the